All right, all right, all right. Okay. Hi, everyone. This is Radha Krishnan from Pixel Village. Well, we're going to go live in vertical format for a change this time because I was told that that's how we can get maximum people to watch and benefit from this video that we are going to do today. And it's going to be on that famous topic or the important topic that we spoke about in the most recent shots. Okay, it's about short flash duration versus HSS. Well, as you know, Godox 8200 Pro, one of the most popular or the most popular flash now currently available. And we all use it regularly. And the most popular setting is HSS because that's how we do a lot of things. We think that we can work at very high shutter speeds, even sync above the camera's flash sync speed and freeze your motion. Okay, what is a typical flash sync speed? When I started doing photography, some of the cameras, the flash sync speed were 1/30th of a second. Then it improved to 1/60th of a second. Then it improved to 1/120th. Then, of course, when the DSLR came, well, it started, syncing at 200 and 250th of a second. Well, then when these OCF, the off-camera flashes came in, well, they introduced a new mode in the flash, which you can trigger from your flash trigger and activate a mode called HSS, using which you can actually go even above the camera's on flash sync speed and don't get limited by that and go up to the maximum speed like 1/8000th of a second. Well, that has its own advantages. But if you really want to freeze a movement, okay, what you need is not HSS. What you need is a short flash duration feature. We need to make use of the short flash duration feature of your flash. Okay, so this is a little bit of there is a bit of a confusion. Many people don't really know. And we realized that from the recent reel and the shots that we did. And we realized that that's very important. That bit of information needs to go. Hence, we are doing this live. So what basically is a flash, correct? Inside the flash, there is a bulb or there's a flash tube, and then there is a circuitry, and then there is power. Now, power charges the circuitry, and there is a powerful capacitor which builds up the power inside. And when you trigger, the capacitor let go the entire power onto the flash tube, and it lets go and it shuts down, and the flash tube fire for that moment and shuts down. Right? We've seen it. Now, to understand the short flash duration, so there is what is the duration? Duration is, for example, let me make a small drawing here. Okay, it's a graph. Please don't worry about this is not a mathematics or a physics class. Simple common sense. Okay, this is one point. This is the x-axis. This is the y-axis. In this axis, I'm going to plot the power of the flash. Okay, 10%, 20%, 30%. This is the flash power, okay? And 40, etc. It goes up to, let's say, 100%. Correct? So, at this point, the flash has no power. It is 0. Here, in this axis, it's the time. So when you fire a flash, the flash fires, reaches its maximum power, and it starts dying down. Okay, so let me say that when you press that trigger, the capacitor let go that energy, and it start lighting up the element, the flash tube, the filament on the flash tube, and it whoop reaches its maximum power. Okay, and this height is called the amplitude or the maximum. So here, and then it start dying down like this. It reaches its maximum power. So if you notice, if you look at a flash, if you ever happen to look at a flash, it flashes first, it fades away slightly slowly. So the flash goes up, 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 reaching the maximum power here, and it start dying down. Okay, now at 10%, up till about 10%, the flash will not have enough power to register the image on your sensor, assuming that your exposure is correct. Similarly, once it reaches here, this is where your maximum power is. This is the 100% power at the setting, at a particular setting. Every setting, like 1 by 1, 1 by 2, 1 by 3, sorry, 1 by 1, 1 by 2, 1 by 4, 1 by 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, and then 256, and then 512. Okay, that's how typically a Godox flash works. So the AD600 Pro 2 now can go up to 9 steps and reach 512 of its power. At every power setting, it will have 100% discharge, correct? According to the setting. Now, for example, forget the power output for the time being. Let's concentrate on this. It reaches its maximum and then dies down. At 10%, it actually starts registering the image. Okay, and at about 90%, again, it stops registering. So it reaches here, it starts coming down. Oh, so okay, that's not, sorry, my mistake. This is not 90%. This again comes to the same level at 10%, it starts registering. So while reaching all the way to the top, and also while dying down, as in the power dies down also, it is still registering the image. This duration is called the flash duration. Okay, so this actually takes a certain time, right? It takes, how many people are watching? 33 people are watching. Wonderful. So this is called a flash duration. Now this flash duration will vary according to the flash's capability and also the power of the flash. For example, at 100% of its power, like when this is set, the flash is set to, let's say, let me switch it on. How do we switch it on? Okay, this comes on. So I am at 1 by 1, correct? Now I am at 1 by 1. I don't know if you can see me, right? At 1 by 1, when I fire the flash, this will go up higher because the amplitude, the power, the intensity is up. It'll go higher and it'll take more time to die down. It'll register more. As I reduce the power, the amplitude, the peak comes down and down and down. Finally, at the lowest power, you will get the shortest flash duration. Okay, so which means the sensor will see the image only for the shortest period of time. Now, that is measured in second, and let's say a Godox flash, for example, at the shortest power, if you imagine you have the AD600 Pro 2 at the lowest power, which is 512th of its power, which is 9 steps, okay? you will have the shortest flash duration of that particular flash at 1 by 23,500 of a second, which is like, imagine 1 second and splice it down to 23,500 times, and that's the duration in which the flash will be firing, and that's the duration in which you will be able to see the object, or the sensor will be able to see the object or your subject. Imagine it's a water splashing. Water is also moving at great speed. Okay? You need to freeze that water in that point. You need this. 1 by 12. Now, this will sync with the camera only at the flash sync speed of the camera. Flash sync speed, which in the newest camera, I'm using R5C here, okay? R5C will sync at 1 by 200th of a second. The camera will remain open for 1 by 200th of a second, but the flash will come on and die down in 1 by 23,500th of a second. Understand? That's the flash sync speed. Correct? Now, understand this, hold on to this thought, and let me explain to you how the HSS work. The moment you switch your flash trigger to HSS mode, okay, ignore this, sorry, okay, HSS, which is called high speed sync, you are not then limited by this speed or the flash sync speed of the camera. You can go up to the maximum speed. For example, in this camera, the mechanical shutter goes up to 1 by 8,000th of a second. So you can go, the moment you activate the flash sync speed, camera will sense it, and it will allow you to go up to 1 by 8,000th of a second. Now, what you need to know is, in order to freeze a liquid in air, you need to have upwards of 1 by 16,000th of a second kind of a speed. But you only have 1 by 8,000. But let's assume, so let me explain how HSS works. Similar, this is your time, this is your power, okay, or the amplitude. Now, it fires on the first trigger, it dies down, and before actually dying down, it'll fire again, okay? And it comes down, and before it dies down, it fires again, and it happens for a few seconds, and then it dies down. So, the flash is available for much longer time, more like a continuous light. That's the reason why you are able to sync the flash at a very high speed itself, high speed also. Okay? Now, imagine you have a continuous light. I can go up to if the light is going to stay on, sun, continuous light like this, I can shoot at any speed from a lowest shutter speed to the highest shutter speed, correct? But here, the flash can go, because of this way, in HSS, because the flash is working like this, for that given point of time, it is like a short LED light coming on, lighting for a considerable amount of time in comparison to this, and dying down. Now, this takes up a lot of power, because of which this cannot recycle faster. Whereas here, though it also takes a lot of time, I am only using the lowest power of the flash setting, because of which the flash will fire much faster, recycle much faster. Okay, so to show you, imagine if okay, the one more thing is, because this is almost working like, or it is working like available light, like a continuous light, you need an exposure to match 1 by 8,000th of a second, which means you will either require high ISO setting or you require wider opening. Okay, whereas here, correct, because I'm working on 1 by 200th of a second, which is my flash sync speed, and because here 23,500, I am limited by the flash's own power, which means at the lowest power also I need maximum output. So this, for example, let's say this is a 200 watt light, AD600 is a 600 watt light, then goes on and on. So in the olden days in the studios, we used to use a 3200 watt light, which would give me 1 by 20,000th of a second at the lowest power, which is equivalent to higher than the full power of this flash. Forget it. If it's complicating you, don't worry. What you need to know is that this will fire in a continuous mode, continuously, in comparison to this, because this is already have fired, taken up that energy from the capacitor, then it has to stop, take its breath, charge again, and fire sometime later. So you will not be able to freeze the flash or freeze the splash at the place that you want to. You will get 1 shot, 2 shot, then you will get a lot of black frames, because the camera is firing at 1 by 8,000, but the flash is not ready. Okay, whereas here flash is firing at 1 by, so the camera is firing at 1 by 200th of a second on continuous high. The flash is set to 512th of a second, and the flash will continue to fire. You will be able to catch the entire sequence of, let's say, the substance falling and touching the water surface and the whole flash. I hope you've understood. So what I am going to do is to quickly do a demonstration. What I am going to do is to show you the setting at HSS Fest, because that's what we all try doing, regularly to freeze, because that's what we have understood. High shutter speed we will be able to freeze things. In the contrary, that's not the case. Okay. Now let me do the shoot. What I have is an R5C. I have tethered the R5C to my computer here using Capture One, and I have a large screen here which is used for monitoring the image, large, and I'll show you the image here on this. Okay. Now let me switch on my camera I need Vaishnav, and I also need Nandu to go behind so that you can help me with the flash. Okay. Now, what am I going to do? First, let us try. So this is water. The flash is behind. I have a flash behind it. Okay. And another thing that we need to do, because we do not want the ambient light to interfere, we will switch off the ambient light. Okay. So for a brief while, the screen will go black, but don't go away, stay there, because you will see the image after that. So I have to first activate my HSS. Okay, I have my HSS, and let me take 1 shot and see if my exposure is right. Actually, I should be doing a flash meter reading and all that, but it takes a lot of time, and you guys are busy in the evening, hence I just want to check if my exposure is right, basically here. Okay, I want to get a focus. Just show me a focus. All right, no, keep it on. I'll tell you when to switch off. Switch it on, and I'm going to get a focus first. All right, that's my focus. Okay, now in order to get the water splash, I need to be on continuous high, and my shutter speed should go higher. Okay, so I am at, I need to go to high shutter speed. So I'm going to go to 1 by 8,000, the maximum speed that I can. Let me see if the exposure is right. Okay, exposure is okay. I need to add power here. So I'm going to add power. I'm going to add some power. Let me see, this is an approximation, okay? I am going to add more power. Okay. All right, I think I will require a little more power, so I'm going to increase the ISO. I'm using a small flash, hence the problem. Okay, my focus, let me get the focus again. Just bring it into the center. All right, ready. Okay, right. So let me see if I can get my shots right. All right, where is the camera? Okay, HSS, 1 by 8,000th of a second, because I need to freeze. Any lower shutter speed will not help anymore because it will start registering the motion. So I'm going to take the highest speed because my flash is a small flash. I've just increased the ISO a little bit. All right, now I'm ready to shoot. I'm on continuous high. Watch how HSS is going to behave. Okay, ready. Because I cannot really anticipate the exact time of the substance or the orange here as a cut orange touching the surface of the water and shoot at that time. Because I cannot do that, I need to take a little chance using the HSS here. All right, so I'm going to do that. All right, so ready, outside. So I'm going to switch off the ambient light. All right, don't go away. You're going to see the image. All right, okay, switch off the ambient light quickly, that and this. All right, and I'm going to shoot. Okay, and 1, 2, 3, drop. Okay, lights on. Okay, now come back here. Please take a look at my screen. Okay, I got my first shot, after which everything that I shot, I got a black frame. Why? Because, like I told you in the beginning, the capacitor takes time to recharge to give the next full flash, because in HSS, flash is not firing just one flash, it is firing a series of flashes together to make it look like a continuous light for that brief while and then shut down. Then it needs to really take a long breath and come back on before it delivers the next flash. Hence, the camera is working at 1 by 8,000th of a second at a high speed sync, and it's firing away to glory, but what it's capturing is a black screen. Okay, now let us go to the next setting, the actual setting using which you can capture a water splash using the feature of every flash called the short flash duration. Now, the short flash duration will change from brand to brand, okay, like I told you. Now, the flash that I have is giving me a flash duration of 23,500th of a second, okay, for which the moment I change my flash to change it from, okay, from the moment okay, sorry. Let me go up. I am going to switch off. Okay, I have switched off the HSS, correct? The HSS is gone from that camera. Where is Nandu? HSS is gone. Now I am going to go to the lowest power, correct? It's at lowest power. 1 by 512? Yes, sir. All right. I am now the camera is automatically gone to its sync speed, the flash sync speed, which is 1 by 200th of a second. I just want to take one shot and see if my exposure is right. I need to add a little more exposure. So I'm going to, because I'm working with like an AD600 Pro 2, and I'm going to get my focus right. I'm going to see if it's correct. All right, it's correct. Let me also come here. Give me 1 second, please. Okay, right. Okay, so I'm going to shoot now, and yeah, all right. Focus, give me a focus. Okay, ready. I'm shooting now on using short flash duration of the flash at 1 by 200th of a second in the camera, and also I'm going to shoot at I'm going to shoot at yeah, the shortest power of the flash. All right. So please go back because water will splash. Switch off the ambient light. Okay, and ready, start firing. 1, 2, 3. All right, cut, lights on. Okay, now take a look at this image. Here, it's in front of you. Here, in the earlier one, we got one shot and we got probably 12 black frames. But in this case, I started shooting well before he actually started dropping the orange into the water. And at this point, it actually grabbed that splash. Take a look at this. See how sharp the image is. See that? See the flashes? Now I can, of course, work on my, my focus because this is a live demo. It is not really for my photography expertise. It's just to kind of tell you what is the right thing to do. See the way I have frozen the water molecules in the air. Well, not molecules, the water in the air. Is it the lowest speed? Yes, sir. Correct? Lowest? See that? I could get the entire movement. See that? Let me try and do one more shot. All right, let me get the focus. Okay, I am going to go and add a little extra depth to the shot and come inside. Yeah, yeah. Ready. Okay, lights off. Ready and action. Okay, cut and lights back on. Now, take a look at this. See the splash there. See? See the details that it is catching, correct? See that? See the water splash. Can you see it? So, in order to do this, see, it's right in front of you. See that? See the kind of sharpness that it is carrying. See that? It's actually frozen. And in the earlier case, and using HSS, I got 12 black frames. Okay? So that basically is the difference between HSS, which is useful for a certain situation. For example, HSS can be used to balance backlight. If you are shooting outdoors and you have a bright sky or a bright background, a scenery, you want the scenery to be exposed, correct? At the same time, let's say if your subject is in shadow, you want to give a fill flash, you can work on a higher shutter speed, seeing the flash. It is actually will work like another continuous light, which is balancing for the exposure. Okay, so that basically is the difference between HSS and short flash duration. Both are useful for different purposes. So never misunderstand that one is a substitute for the other. Okay, for reasons that I just demonstrated to you. So whenever you want to freeze a motion, for example, there is a gymnast. This is not multi-mode, okay? Multi is different. Multi is absolute darkness. You work on a slow shutter speed. In one frame, the flash will fire multiple times and you will capture a motion. That's different. Multi is very different. We're not talking about it at all. We're talking about freezing a motion. One single image like this, especially water splashes, like a high action in the studio. This is not exactly possible outdoors because you need, then if you're going outdoors and you want to do the same thing, then you will be, basically this setup is for the studio. You want any high action moment and you want to freeze it. Is someone jumping or water splashing somebody's face? We shot something many years back. I remember when I bought my first studio high power brown color in the studio way back in 2009. I wanted to do, there was a shoot in which the model's face, model was splashing water on their face, in their expression, water flying in the air. I used short flash duration. Now, I will not be able to anticipate that exact moment, right? It's impossible, hence it's important to work on motor wind. So we did that and we got our shots. Whereas in HSS mode, you will be able to shoot maximum 1 or 2 shots, after which you will get a lot of blank frames before and then you'll have to wait for the flash to recharge. Okay, so I hope you really understood the difference between, yes? There is a question. Okay, so what's the question? You want to read it out? All right, so you go back there. Sorry, what is why are you shutting the ambient light off all the way at 8,000 indoor if you're using an IS around 400? Can you please explain? Of course. Well, in fact, you're right. If I am using HSS and I am using 1/8,000th of a second, I don't need to really shut down the ambient light. But when I use short flash duration, my shutter goes down to 1/200th of a second, using which time even this light might just create a ghost, okay, a ghost feel. It will create a small movement, thereby reducing my sharpness. Hence, I am shutting down the light, okay. Yes, when it comes to HSS, because I'm working at 1/8,000th of a second and then F8 or F11, yes, I don't need to worry about the light shutting down. It was just a matter of practice. I switched off just to be, kind of absolutely safe. Do you want me to see it otherwise? Let me know, I'll do it again. But I'm so sorry. The end result will be the same, okay. I hope I'm able to, I'm so sorry. I hope, yes, if you can get me some water, please. I hope that explained or that answered your question. So what am I going to do? Well, it's almost half an hour, probably half an hour that I've been going live in vertical mode. I hope you liked it. It's going to remain here on our channel for some more days. So if you have any questions, please ask. I'll go through it, and if you need one more video to be done, let me know. If you want it in horizontal with multiple cameras, please let me know. I'll do one more video. Any doubts regarding this setup, ask me. Any doubts that you have about short flash duration versus HSS, please ask me. I will try and explain to you in the best way that is possible by me. If I don't know about it, if I can't answer, I'll go study, come back, and talk to you again. Please remember to share this video with your people. If you are not a subscriber, please remember, if you appreciate, if you like what we did, please remember to subscribe and hit that bell button. I'll see you in another interesting live video very soon. Till then, keep watching our videos in our channel. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a good evening and good night. Bye for now.